Honestly, I felt like going 10-3 was a great opportunity for my team. I made that sacrifice instead of playing left to give it up to my teammate Darian, knowing that we were going to be in the best situation to play if I played right tackle. I felt like instead of having to go to left tackle and try to mold out my game working at other positions, I can just continue working, become more experienced, more of an expert at the right tackle spot.
When you're
What are you trying? What do you have to prove this week? Do you think? Or what are you trying to get out there and trying to do?
The biggest thing is just kind of like open people's eyes. I think in college I did it for 3 years, so people kind of got used to it. I didn't have 1 year where I just kind of excelled and then everybody took notice. I've kind of just done my job and did it at a high level for 3 years, so now it's just kind of like, I guess, put a cherry on the top, kind of let people know that I'm still here and still considered one of the best tackles in the conference.
when you're talking.
When you talk to NFL teams, obviously tackle's your position, but are you getting any feedback? Like maybe they want you to slide the guard and play both?
At the end of the day, like I said earlier, I'm coming in to do a job. If they say, hey, you're going to play guard, at the end of the day, all I need is some reps at that, and I feel like I have enough confidence and enough experience at playing football that I can come in and get reps and do well. Growing up a lot, I used to watch like Tyron Smith, Joe Thomas, great guys like that, and kind of just take their tools and add them to my toolkit and adapt them to my body type. I used to watch those kind of guys, but as I grew up, kind of just working on my own game, kind of just turning those tools into something that's a part of me instead of someone else's.
Darian, how did
biggest strengths, run game for sure. I need technical work for sure, pass game. I think how aggressive I am coming off the ball and always wanting first contact, moving 3 techs, I think is probably the strongest part of my game, getting on double teams. But I feel like I have that mentality that I'm going to move somebody off the ball and they're not going to stop me.
Darian, has teams asked you about the Joe Biden sweatshirt from the Senior Bowl? Has that why did you wear that? What was kind of your thought?
Actually, I wasn't thinking about it. I just wore it, part of my, I guess, closet. So I just wore it, and that's how it goes.
Have you? Which teams have you talked to so far up in Indy?
I've talked to a lot. I've talked to Miami, Dallas, Browns, Jaguars, more than half the teams already. So
I'm sure you talked to a lot of them at the Senior Bowl too. What did you get from that experience down in Mobile?
Definitely more experience in terms of just kind of like loosening up, letting people get to experience the actual me instead of just kind of like answering like a robot, instead of like a trained animal. Get to just add my personality into answering, but not answering stupidly. And just, since I talked to him before, I already kind of have that familiarity with him. So it just made it a lot easier when I got here to be more comfortable, be more relaxed.
What are the what are the aspects of your personality? Those of us that kind of known you over the years, we haven't maybe seen.
I think my authenticity in terms of like the type of person I am. I'm pretty laid back, relaxed, goofy, but I'm about business, and I can get pretty serious at times. But most of the time off the field, it's more laid back, more relaxed, and more like heart to heart with people when I get to know you.
Were these interviews mostly X's and O's stuff, or these teams want to get to know you?
Some of them are X's and O's, some of them are about them teaching us to play, how fast we can take in all the information and then regurgitate it and like know the information. Others are about just getting to know me as a person, kind of seeing where my mindset's at and my head's at, what kind of headspace I'm in. And some of it's just kind of bullshitting around, just kind of shooting the shit, really.
How'd you characterize your college career?
Favorite moment of college career, I would say beating Florida this past year, going undefeated to the point when we beat Florida. So that was pretty cool. Fans rushing the field. Of course, school got fined, but it was just kind of a surreal moment, and just beating Florida at home was a big thing.
How would you characterize the meeting with the Dolphins and meeting with the Bowl?
I think meeting with Dolphins was definitely like a heart-to-heart. Those coaches definitely seem like guys who are experienced. They played in the league and now they're coaching, so they definitely understand what it's like in a player's head. And it's going to be a better connection than it is just going to be a coach yelling at you or ripping your ass for something stupid.
Do you,
With the Steelers, what are your thoughts on Mike Tomlin?
Oh, good guys. Literally, when I was over there, it was kind of one of those interviews where they were just getting to know me, kind of just understand and see what kind of mindset I'm at, kind of reading me as a person. It wasn't really a lot of X's and O's. It was just kind of seeing if I would be a good fit or if my personality would mesh with theirs.
You talked about picking up information, regurgitating in some of these meetings. Do you feel farther ahead after having that year running Liam's offense?
Yeah, no, it's definitely helped a lot in terms of pass pros. We got jets, scats, 300s. It's more numbering systems, and then taking that and translating it to a lot of what these teams do. A lot of terminology is a lot similar. Backside of zones, ABCs, duos and stuff like that. The combos are the same. Ace deuce trays. It's just a lot easier to transition that from Liam's offense to the NFL because it's more widespread. Everybody uses probably the most similar offensive calls.
Darian, since you
my pandemic experience really was when it all hit, everything kind of shut down. Kind of wasn't doing much at the house. I needed a way to stay in shape. I had a vest, and then I had big ass logs in my backyard. And I was like, might as well have some fun with it. So kind of just went out there, treated it like a tire flip, and just flipping logs. And I had like a telephone pole too. I'll just pick that up and kind of just squat a little bit here and there. Just kind of staying in shape as best I could, and then I'd go to the park and run the hill there. Really, the pandemic experience, I felt like it wasn't as much of a crisis I think it needed to be. I think it was more of a scare tactic, but at the end of the day, that's my personal opinion. I felt like I still could have gone about my daily life, still was out doing things, still was out going to the park, still was able to talk to people without being scared of things. So my pandemic experience was just kind of cooped up.
Darian, why are you making these political statements now when you didn't do that at Kentucky? What about this process is
most of the time it wasn't about political statements. A lot of guys didn't ask me about my political beliefs. And at the end of the day, these are personal. I mean, I just felt cooped up. Simple as that. Like a lot of Americans in this country, it just felt like they were forced to stay inside, not really have a social life. But that's just my viewpoint. It's not really a political statement. The hoodie that I wore at the Reese Bowl, wasn't really thinking about it, but that's how I feel. That's not put on an organization or a group.
Did you have to take any
just be smarter. It wasn't really a lot of extra protection, just washing the hands a lot more, being careful with how many people I was hanging out with. But other than that, I wasn't going the extreme in terms of trying to be protected.
Darian, since
Sorry. I've not met the Bucks yet.
Darian, since
I think for now, with my weight, they'd probably put me outside just because I'm 321 right now. But if I go back to getting about 330, I think they'll probably slide me inside just because best way to get experience before trying to go out and outside and work with those smaller guys who are a lot faster, more explosive, and more agile than we are. I'd say playing weight probably better at 330, more comfortable there.
Darian, since you left,
yourself to reflect, if that's the word, like all you've been through, and now you're 2 months away from being in the NFL?
Not really. It's just one step at a time right now. I think I can reflect a little bit after I'm, in a spot where I feel comfortable enough to relax just a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's the NFL. Everybody's job's on the line. And when it's time to step up, you step up. So just a step at a time right now.
Well, 6-7 years ago, would you have thought this is possible?
Yeah. As a kid growing up, I thought this was my dream. I believed in it fully and took the necessary steps to get here. And I'm going to keep doing so.
Darian, since you left Kentucky, there was controversy about how Coach Wolford left. What was your relationship like with him, and what did you make of all that?
I didn't know he actually left until a couple days after at the Reese Bowl. And, I felt a little upset about it, but at the end of the day, everything's business. College's business, NFL's business. He was getting paid. He got offered more money to go somewhere else. And at the end of the day, his family comes first. So it makes sense. We all have a job. We all are doing a job to take care of our family. And if you're getting paid more to do it somewhere else, you're going to do it.
Speaking of family, you're real close with your mother. What's this experience, hearing your name called, going to mean to be able to take care of her?
Very important. she was one of the biggest reasons why I started playing football in the first place. You know, I wanted to go to college, you know, so I wasn't a burden on her, and I was able to do that. I'm able to go to the NFL now and make sure I can take care of her as best as I can. At the end of the day, she's a stubborn woman. She doesn't want to be taken care of. You know, she busted her ass to get where she's at by herself, so she's not really going to want my help, but it's going to happen.
You spent a lot of time in your youth in Tennessee and in Ohio. Would it mean anything more to go to any of those teams there? Or?
I don't think it'd mean anything more. You know, next level is business. You're getting paid to do a job, so I'm gonna come in and play football. At the end of the day, I love football, so wherever it's at, I'm gonna enjoy it.
What have you worked on since your time in Mobiles and coming into Indy?
Mostly hand placement, working on techniques, foot placement, not working on bailing the hip as much as possible. But the last couple weeks was really just grinding in terms of drills and preparing for this. And then after this, I'm gonna go back and prepare for bench, and then continue working on technical aspects of my game.
What do you think of Detroit's coaching staff?
Oh, fun. They're fun guys. They're down to earth. They really wanted to connect you on a personal level, but they're also getting your ass if you messed up. So, you know, tough guys, but at the end of the day, they wanted what was best for us, and they did that.
Do you have any talks with Logan about their staff or the situation?
Talked a little briefly here and there with Logan about him. I haven't really sat down and had a full dive conversation with him.
Darian, what does it say about that legacy that John Schlarman built to have three of you guys here this week doing this?
Yeah, you know, John Schlarman's like, you can't replace that man, and what he did for our program was unmatched. He would come in every day with a smile on his face, high energy, even with what he was going through, and he sacrificed what he could for the team. He really gave his life for the team, and you know, having guys come through every year since I've been in college means a lot. Definitely means something that he's built for Kentucky, and it means a lot for his family and us at Kentucky.
What else were you buying after play when you see your quarterback on
Okay, my first thought is what happened. So why is he on the ground? If I know it's my fault, I'm pissed if that happens. But if it's not my fault, I'll pick him up and we'll go to the sideline. And then once we get to the sideline, we kind of debrief on what the fronts were, like what we saw. And then I'll ask our guys what happened, and someone will claim like, hey, like, got through on me, missed up a twist, something happened. And if it's my fault, I'm pissed, I'm irritated, but I gotta go to the sideline and worry about the next play, you know. Good.
Darian, what was Devontae Wyatt, Jordan Davis, joining this front seven, some of those guys who came to work for that game? What were your impressions of the differences?
My impressions were guys who played hard, freak athletes. You know, preparing all week, they played fast, played hard. Compared to a lot of other teams, they just played on a different level. So going into that week, it was more about dotting T's and dotting the I's and crossing T's, you know. So it was like, you got to work on technical aspects if you want to be able to compete with those kind of guys, and we tried our best to do that. Those guys were just animals. They just wanted it more, I guess.
Darian, spring camp starts next week for Kentucky. Who should we be looking at as far as on the line guys, the replacement you guys have?
I'll be looking at Jeremy Flax for tackle, Kenneth Horsey left guard, and Eli, our right guard, Eli Cox, our right guard. Those guys are coming up, and they've been putting in the work, and they got to carry the big blue ball game now, so they got it.
Thanks, Darian.